Hi everybody, I hope you had a good weekend. This is Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And my project today is another Valentine. And this box measures 3.5 by 2.5 by 1 inches. And inside, I'm not sure if I can get it off. Yeah, I can. Is a Russell Stover caramel heart. Alrighty, so that fits in there nicely. And then let's see if I can, yeah, I can get it right back on there. Alright, and then there's a separate band that I put up and around that I embossed with the Dots embossing folder. I used Awesome Otters. This is a celebration stamp set till the end of February. It's free. You can pick this free with any $50 purchase. And for the sentiment, I used Sweet Conversations. I used the Sweethearts dies for the little heart. And I used the layering circle dies here. And of course the Dots embossing folder from the Checks and Dots pack. Okay, and what we need for this project are some basic white scraps. We need a piece of Blushing Bride that is 10 inches by 1 1/4. And a piece of Real Red that is 7.5 by 4.5. Alrighty. We also need 2 pieces of the Sweet Talk Designer Series paper that are 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. A smooth circle from the layering circle dies out of Blushing Bride, and the circle comes out to be about 1 7/8. And then out of Real Red, the scallop that's just a little bigger. Alrighty, so let's start with our pieces that we have to score. Alright, and we're going to start on the 7.5 inch side, and we're going to score at 1, 3.5, 4.5, and 7. And we're going to turn it. Okay, I had it a little too long, but this side is 4.5 now. So we're going to turn it to the 4.5 inch side, and we're going to score it at 1. And that's it. Oops, nope. Alright, so now we need our strip that is 10 inches by 1 1/4. And we're going to score this at 4.5 and 5.5. Okay, now we're just going to fold and burnish everything. Alright, this is what we want to do. We're just going to cut the sides of the rectangle straight and wedge the squares and get rid of this rectangle, wedge, and then wedge a little off the top also. Okay, so your skinniest rectangle is on the right hand side and you have a 1 inch strip on the bottom. Let's start over here on the left. And we're going to cut the side of the rectangle straight to the first score line. And then we're going to wedge each side of the square. Okay, move to the other side of this rectangle. Cut it straight. Skip the square for a sec. Cut this rectangle side straight. And then wedge both sides of the square. Okay, alrighty, go to the other side of this rectangle, cut it straight to the first score line, and then you're going to wedge a little bit out of the skinny rectangle above it, follow it up, and wedge a little bit off the top. Alright, and that's what your cardstock should look like after you've scored it and cut it. Okay, now let's work on our Blushing Bride strip. What we want to do is I'm bringing in the Delightful Tag Topper punch, and we're going to cut both of the skinny ends. I'm just going to put the circle in the middle to kind of gauge where it's in the middle. Okay, that's one, and we're going to turn it around and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, now I'm going to get my Dots embossing folder, And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put each side up to this the first score line into it. All right, and then I'm just going to run my machine up to here and then out and do it on both sides. Alrighty, so I'll be right back. All right, and I did both sides. I missed a little bit on the bottom, but that's all right. I should have gone a little bit farther. Okay, now we're going to put that aside, and we're going to get our main piece, and I'm going to take my tear and tape and put it on the skinny rectangle close to the score line. I'm going to take my take your pick tool and get the backing off, flip it over, flip the side with the tape, and then the other side to meet it. Okay, now this is our back here. So we're going to put the sides and the back, and this is where we want more tape. And I'm going to put it all the way up close to the edge. Take the backing off, and then just try to make sure you're nice and squared up. Okay, and that's your box. Now, since I don't have another one of these, I'm just going to put in some Reese's Hearts, some Hershey Hearts, and then some Twix. Put that first, and then got 3 hearts. And 2 Twix. Well, no, we could fit another heart. Okay, so I got 4 hearts and 2 Twix in there. Alrighty, so that is what will fit. But what I want you to do first is just push, take the stuff out, and we just want to make sure that the top gets squeezed together nicely. The bottom will go wherever it's going to go, especially when the candy is inside. Oh, I don't want to do that yet, sorry. Alright, now we need our Designer Series paper. And this is the Sweet Talk, and it is 2 pieces that are 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I'm just going to take my liquid glue. I'm going to put one on the front and one on the back. Alrighty. Now let's let that dry for now, and we're going to do some stamping. Okay, so we need our otter and our Happy Valentine's Day. The otter is from Awesome Otters, and the sentiment is from Sweet Conversations. And I'm going to use Tuxedo Black for both. Now I'm going to use the bottom straight edge of a scrap for the Happy Valentine's Day. I'm just going to do it by eye. Okay, put that aside. And then I have another scrap for my otter. Great. Alright, now we need just a few Stampin' Blends. I have light and dark crumb cake and light smoky slate. So let's start with the dark crumb cake. And I'm just going to do a little bit of shading, especially where the lines are. And then I'm just going to do along the edges. Just a thin line. Alright, and then I'm going to fill in the rest with light crumb cake. Alright, and then I'm going to take light smoky slate and I'm just going to do the nose. Okay, and that's it for coloring. He's pretty easy. Oh, nope. Sorry, I have to do his belly. I'm going to do the belly with the light. You could just leave the belly white if you wanted to, but I don't think they're like that. Okay. Alrighty. and now I just have to fussy cut him. Okay. Alright, and for our Happy Valentine's, I'm just going to take my cutter and I'm just going to cut it straight, except I didn't stamp it straight. So let's try to cut it better. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Alright, now we can put our candies in. I'm going to leave the fourth heart. Alright. Okay, now we need our circles, and I'm going to take the 1 7/8 inch circle and put it on top of the scallop. I did forget one thing that I cut out. The heart from the Sweetheart dies. Is that what it is? Sweethearts dies. One of the little hearts. Alright. So what I'm going to do for this is, first I'm going to get some dimensionals and mini dimensionals. And I'm going to be putting the heart on this hand, so why don't I do that now? Just going to put a little dot right there. And then I'm going to put the heart on top of it. Oops. Just where I like it, and then flip it over, and then I'm going to put a mini dimensional on top of the back of the heart. If I can get one off. There we go. I'm just going to put that on there, and then I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the otter. I'm just going to center him on here. Alright. Okay, now we need our strip. And this strip is going to be like this on the front. So what we're going to do is attach our otter to it with some liquid glue. And we're just going up the middle. Okay? And just make sure that the fold is on the bottom here, and then we're going to decide exactly where we want it on here, and I'm just going to lift it up to press it so I don't squirt any glue on there. And that way it's not centered from here to here, because then it'll be up too high. Alright. Now for the sentiment, I'm just going to cut it kind of close to the last word and then just put a little flag in it. And then I'm only going to leave about a 1/4 inch above the words, the happy part. And then I'm going to just put a small hole. Okay. Alright, now let's put our band around. Alright, and now I'm using 3 ribbons. Mostly because I'm almost out of this one, so I couldn't tie a bow or anything. So I'm going to take the glittered organdy ribbon and I'm going to put it on top of the double-stitched real red ribbon. I'm going to pinch these together and put it through. This. All right, just even them off. Okay, and I'm going to decide how much I want sticking up, and then just cut them off. Okay. Now we just, Now we just need our crinkled seam binding ribbon. And we're going to run it right around the bottom here. Just tie a knot. Okay. Then we're going to take our sentiment and I'm going to put my thumbnail right before the H and I'm going to bend it. Okay. And then I'm going to take the rest of it and I'm just going to curl it with my bone folder. Because this way it will be curled, but you can still be able to see it. All right. So then I'm going to take one side of the seam binding ribbon and put it, oops, through the hole. And then I'm just going to tie a bow. This is kind of a small thing to navigate. There we go. And then just cut that off. Get rid of that. Then we can assess the situation here. I want this to go on this side. So you might have to fiddle with it a little bit to get it on the right side of the knot. There we go. Alrighty. And that's almost it. I have to just rebend my, there we go. Okay, and then for the final touch, I'm just going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella on the heart. Oops. On the nose and on the eyes. It gives them a little bit of sparkle. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching my channel today. I appreciate it. And I appreciate so much. I got such generous donations. I'm going to be sending out a little thank you card to you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It helps me keep going. And I will see you next time. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. The link to my store is below. And the link to my blog that has all the measurements. And I will see you next time. Bye.